Hi, Stephanie Kraft here. I would like to talk to you today about prenatal communication and pre-birth communication between mother and baby. Many people are not aware that there is communication that is possible between the baby in the womb and the mother. Sometimes this is picked up by the mother as intuition, and sometimes the mother is not really even aware that she can communicate with the baby, which is why I'm making this video, to make more people aware that this is possible. And I have some stories to share with you regarding this experience. For example, one day when I was pregnant with my son, I was just minding my own business when suddenly there was an announcement in my head. It was something that does not normally happen. I don't normally hear announcements in my head, but with it simultaneously came an inner vision. So the announcement was June 26th, and it was very booming inside my head. It wasn't my voice, it was a voice from outside of me that I heard in my head. And when I heard June 26th, there was simultaneously an inner vision, which was like a sign in Broadway, all lit up um, with the same title. It was like a headliner show, June 26th. And so I thought, wow, I wonder who that was and what they were trying to tell me. My son was due on June 21st. So I thought, well, could this be the soul of my son making a rather large announcement about his arrival? And I wouldn't know, of course, until I had him. And I went into labor on June 25th. And when that happened, I figured, oh, well, I guess that announcement wasn't right, and I'm having my baby. But what happened was I ended up laboring overnight, and he was born the next morning, and he was born on June 26th. So in that case, I could say that it was my son's soul making the announcement for his arrival. And this happened months before he was born. So that was just one instance of pre-birth communication that I had with my son. There was another time that I was at somebody's house and she had books on baby names. And so I was looking through this baby name book and trying to see if I liked any of the names to name my baby. And I was reading, through the A names, and I got to the name Adonis. And I had a little inner chuckle. I was completely alone. Nobody was around. I was looking at this book by myself. And when I got to the name Adonis, which is Greek for handsome, I inwardly laughed and thought, oh, that would be so ridiculous to name my child Adonis. And then I kept on reading through the book. Well, the next day, I had a phone session with a woman who does energy healing from a distance, and she's a gifted medical intuitive healer. And she actually had the ability to communicate with my son while he was in the womb with his soul. I didn't, feel that I had that ability. I didn't have that ability. I wasn't able to carry on conversations with him at all, although she was. And so during this energy healing session on the phone, she said, oh, your son is now talking to me, and he's joking around, laughing, and saying, you should name me Adonis. And I was really surprised. And so I told her I had just been reading the book yesterday and thought to myself how funny it would be and ridiculous it would be to name him Adonis. And so she said, obviously he was aware of that and he's referring to that and laughing about it. And so this is an example to point out to you that the baby in the womb is actually picking up on your thoughts, on the mother's thoughts, which is quite astonishing to a lot of people. They don't realize that the baby is aware of such things. I'm a hypnotherapist, and I do sessions called Life Between Lives hypnotherapy sessions. And in those sessions, I take my clients into the womb on the way as part of the progression of those sessions. It's just one stop along the way. And when my clients are in the womb, they report back to me experiences in the womb, such as, knowing the family situation that they're coming into, knowing how their mother feels, knowing how their father feels, knowing about the siblings, if there are any, and knowing if they're wanted, and so on. They really know everything. They're able to be an observer of the family life, and it's quite eye-opening, because I think a lot of people who are pregnant just assume that when the baby is born, they'll become fully aware beings. But in fact, they're much more aware when they're in the womb, even than after they come out. Because when people are born, there's this veil of forgetfulness that comes over us, and we don't remember our time in the womb. We don't remember before coming into the womb. But the baby in the womb is still in their soul state. And so they don't actually stay within the confines of the body of the baby. They're still able to leave the body of the baby and be that free-floating soul who has more of an all-knowing consciousness. And that's why they are so aware of all of the things that are happening within the family and parents and siblings. And so they know the situation that they're coming into. There are some other instances with pre-birth communication, other stories that I have, and I will share those in some other videos coming up. So that is just a small introduction to the awareness of babies in the womb and pre-birth communication.